the Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and I'll bet you've been hearing a lot about the Arts Council these days. If you've been paying any attention to the news, you know that there's a lot been going on with the Arts Council. First and foremost, in the month of May, we moved about the middle of the month from the Jones House Community Center, which had been our home for 26 years. We're a 31-year-old organization, so for 26 of our 31-year lifespan, we had been a resident of the Jones House Community Center, and we had worked really, really hard to turn it into the wonderful community and cultural center that it is today, and we feel very proud of the work that we were able to do there. However, things change, and sometimes with change comes opportunity, and in our case, that's exactly what's happened. As the Arts Council found it necessary to move out of the Arts Council, we of course needed a place to go. Well, we have very, very good friends at the Cheap Joe's Art Stuff, and Joseph Miller in particular, but Joe and Joseph have been fabulous friends, and they helped us a lot. And one of the things that they did was help us make connections with people and work things out. So the first thing that they dropped in our laps was that they shared their storage space with us, which is just phenomenal because, of course, like every organization, we've got stuff. Everybody's got stuff, and we had to put it somewhere. So we were able to put the stuff away with their stuff at where they store their stuff. And then we also needed office space, and we were batting around some ideas, and the Committee of 100 of Watauga County, which is an economic development arm of the community, they're the ones that manage the Appalachian Enterprise Center, which, if you're not familiar with where that is near the Health Department, Social Services, New River Mental Health, or what used to be New River Mental Health, the Project on Aging, that same complex there has the Appalachian Enterprise Center, which it's a business incubator of sorts. And we are able to have a 3-room suite in that space courtesy of the Committee of 100. It's a gift from them. A gift not just to us, but a gift to you because it enables us to better serve you throughout the community. So we want to thank them for that, and of course Cheap Joe's for their input. And then I got a phone call from Joseph, and he said that he had been in conversation with 3 other members of the community, or I think it's all kind of overlaps, but at any rate, John Winkler, Roger Wright, and Ken Wilcox are property managers and owners all through the community, the realtors, that kind of whole situation. They manage all of that. And they have a building that they co-own that is the building where currently Palucci's is located, as well as it used to be the home of High Country Bank, and Wind of Water's in there, several other things. And the building that was, part of the building that was the High Country Bank space, they are donating to us as a gift to the Arts Council, and thereby a gift to the community so that we can have a retail and gallery space in that space. And we are just ecstatic about this. We think it's absolutely wonderful. We're just getting the ball rolling on it, but it's just phenomenal. Some of you might remember that some years ago we started to do a retail type space we called it Art Space. And we weren't able to do it due to the expense of renovations that became more than we could manage. In this case, we don't have to renovate. So this is just a phenomenal gift to the community, and we are very, very grateful to them for doing that for us. Now, the reason I have Brenda Ellis here today is because Brenda had already signed up with the Arts Council to do a gallery exhibit during the month of June. She had been planning on doing it in the open door gallery of the Jones House Community Center, but since we're no longer managing that particular space, we needed to transplant Brenda's work. And so she's going to get the honor of being the very first exhibitor in that space, which is both an honor and probably a hassle. Poor Brenda has been bearing with us as we went through the early phases of getting things worked out and getting details worked out. But she's been very patient, and we really appreciate it. Brenda, you're a photographer, and you have exhibited with us before, and my recollection of that exhibit and of your work is that your work is, first and foremost, very colorful. Second, you tend to do fairly small prints of your photographs, and you frame those or mat them or whatever. And these are unique in that they are oftentimes very close up images, and you do some distance stuff and all. Your work has a nature theme. I don't remember seeing anything that wasn't a nature theme.
Right.
So you were telling me earlier today, you said something about I'm a nature freak, and I believe that's probably true. So what is it that makes you want to photograph this, and how did you get started doing this type of work?
Well, in the beginning, I basically did more landscapes. And then when I got into digital photography, it opened up kind of a new world. You could actually get closer
Yes.
to what you're seeing. And I guess I like, because anyone can look at a landscape and see it. Pretty much everyone can see that. In the macro world, or like, small, animals or flowers or anything like that, you can get closer to it and present it because people don't see that.
That's true. Unless they've got that lens to get them that close.
People look at a flower or whatever it may be, and they don't see, what I see through the camera.
So it's not quite to the level of a microscope. It's more like almost like binoculars looking at something. I mean, it's up close, but not
It's
a magnifying glass.
Right. If people were walking around with magnifying glasses, of course you would see that world. But a lot of people walk right by and they don't see it, and it has to do too with I love nature. I'm outside all the time. I hike all the time, so it's also very available to me.
That's great. Now, it's interesting that you say you're outside so much, because in her other life, she's a pharmacist. And so you're cooped up behind a counter counting pills and working up people's prescriptions and whatever. So I guess this is your escape?
Being outside and hiking is an escape, and so is photography. And somehow, I never planned it, but it just came, those two things came together, and I like to share it. So
that's great. Now, what got you started? When did you start doing photography?
I was about 8. And I guess I looked at photo albums or something all the time, or tried to steal my dad's camera. So my mom, I guess, picked up on that, and she bought me one of those little 110 cameras.
I had one of those, the little skinny one.
Yeah, it didn't even take 35 millimeter. But I just started taking pictures, and of course was no good at that time, but enjoyed it. Then as I got older and got more expensive cameras, got into it a little more. And my first digital camera was actually, I won it in a photo competition.
Wow.
It's from my little rinky-dink 35 millimeter horrible little camera at that time. I thought it was great then, but so as I got the digital camera, it opened up a whole new world, and I started doing even more photography, and then at that point started entering competitions and doing shows, and nothing on the professional level. It's just I enjoy that type of photography where it's fun, not stressful, that kind of environment. So if it ever starts getting stressful, then I'm probably done with it.
Now, do you spend, first off, when you had the 35 millimeter, were you doing darkroom work, or did you have it developed for you?
I had it developed.
So you weren't in there playing around with the chemicals and making things look different that way.
No.
Now, on a computer, most of us have tried digital photography, and you can go in with all kinds of programs and do all kinds of stuff. So do you do things like that, or is it straight photography of what you took is what we see?
I am very much a purist. I don't own Photoshop. People don't really believe me when I tell them that. But no, the only programs that I have are what basically comes with the cameras. And really the only editing that I do is cropping.
Right.
So I use that program to crop and bring it closer, or cut out something that I don't want in the photograph.
Right.
But no, I don't alter like color or any of that.
Focus or any of that business.
I don't alter any of that, no.
Wow. So this photography that we're going to see with your newest exhibit here, what's different from what I saw before?
I wanted to replace quite a bit. I have a couple of pieces, and this is just something that was personal to me. When I'm hiking, I do I keep a hiking journal of the hikes I've done and the mileage, and then I also do, I write down all the wildflowers that I see, because I'm also really into identifying birds and wildflowers and that kind of thing. So, you know, I'm always out the first of spring when all the wildflowers start blooming,
Right.
and I look back at my diaries and I know exactly what's blooming, when,
Wow.
and I know where to go.
Uh-huh.
So I will start off on those trails and basically, say Grandfather Mountain, for instance, we'll start out when the flowers are starting to bloom at the bottom, and then I follow those flowers all the way to the top over however many weeks it takes for them all to bloom all the way up.
Wow.
And so a couple of pieces that I have are just for that.
Uh-huh.
And it was just something, you know, personal, so I have wildflowers just from that trail from the bottom to the top.
That is
And that's just, you know, that was just something that was more
That's
personal
cool.
for me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really getting into a lot more, not just looking at an image as a whole, but I'm really getting into more of shapes. So
Right.
looking at something, instead of just photographing that, finding a shape in that setting, and
okay.
photographing the shape of it.
Uh-huh.
So there's things that look like wagon wheels, flowers that look like wagon wheels from
Yeah.
underneath, or just maybe one side of the flower that's got a really nice shape, some things off to the side, and
So you're taking the scientific approach, and then you're also taking the artistic approach. And
right. I'm
Yeah,
finding a lot of my things now have kind of developed into looking at patterns and shapes in the photographs that I'm taking.
That's neat.
So it's sort of kind of moving a little bit, trying
Well,
to incorporate
You know,
different
every
stuff.
artist I've worked with for many years, and that none of them ever stay the same.
No.
You know, they keep growing and exploring and seeing things they didn't see before, and changing their approach. And
Right.
you know, whether they're using a paintbrush or a camera or a chisel or whatever it is they're using, you know, they
Right.
always can evolve over
Right.
time. And just as I think I've got their style nailed, they'll do something different. You know?
Right, definitely. And I'm doing a lot of reflective pictures, and I have, you know, some of the other photography that I've done. I actually have one of a reenactor, Civil War soldier, that I'm pretty proud of, because I don't do people
Yeah, you
a
don't. I
lot.
haven't seen much of it all.
So that's something that I'm trying to, you know, to do a little more, as far as when people aren't looking, not pose photography.
Right.
And kind of trying to get into that a little more.
Captured moment kind of a thing.
A captured moment. And then some older buildings, maybe light coming in just right, or a window in the building, or
I'm
you know,
looking
just
forward to this.
just
Yeah,
just something, just trying to do some things
Something
different.
different.
Because
Yeah.
you get bored,
Right.
and you really get tired of looking your old work, and you're like, I'm just so tired of looking at this, and you lose your objectivity. Is this really good,
Right.
or do I need to change it and do something else? Because you do, after you look at your work for a while, you get bored and you want to move on.
Now, do you enter competitions?
Yes, yes, I do.
And that often shapes your work as well.
Right,
You know.
right. I've done a Dave Matthews Photographer for a Show competition, and out of 2,000, I actually won first place. And that's how I got my first camera,
Oh,
my
yes,
first digital.
that's right.
So, and then I've done the Appalachian Mountain Photography Competition, and either won or placed 3 times in that.
Wow.
So yeah, and I'm getting ready to enter a Civil War competition.
So that will change what you're looking for to put into that.
Yeah, because I've been to several battlefields and have taken several pictures of that, and I'm really excited about that too.
Now, is your husband just long-suffering, or does he get excited about this?
Ask him a long time from now, because he has really helped me with this show, and I think like the other night, he just said, I'm done. I'm done with being your errand boy. And no, he has helped me, and he's done a wonderful job, very, very patient, and he actually is interested in my work.
That's great.
I had some things framed, and he actually made me change them around. No, this
That's not
doesn't
good.
go, we're going to do
Uh-huh.
this one. And so I was almost finished,
Wow.
and he was just like, no, we need
That's cool.
to change this around a little bit. So
That is cool.
just
So-
another
Uh-huh.
pair of eyes.
Yeah. Now,
Which
does
is
he
good.
do any photography himself?
No,
So he's
No.
your backseat driver.
he just waits while I take photography.
But
Yeah.
that's the long suffering part.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, we're looking forward very much to this exhibit. Now, do you sell your work?
I do. Like I don't have a website. I have sold things, for people at work. Sometimes I take them in and they're like, oh wow, I would love to have a copy of that. And I sold some through the last show in 2010.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really have a place to sell it, really.
Which we just saw.
So yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward
definitely.
to keeping some of the work and
Definitely.
being able to sell some of it through the retail.
Well,
That's going to be the neat thing about this is that work, a lot of times you'll see a show and you hate to see the work go away at the end of the exhibit. It's great, and I oftentimes watch the work go out the door and just go, that was so nice, And with this new space that we're going to have, then we'll be able to hopefully talk artists into letting us hold on to a few pieces and continue to sell their work even after their exhibit has ended and somebody else has put in up an exhibit.
Right.
So it'll give a lot of people a lot of opportunities. It also gives artists who are doing things that aren't really gallery work, for example, people who do handcrafts, or such as maybe scarves, or they make purses, or they make jewelry, or they make all kinds of stuff that might not make a gallery exhibit per se, but this will give them an opportunity to share their work with the community. So we're really, really excited about this opportunity. It's a long-held dream that has been sort of hovering in the background for many, many years. And it's just a great opportunity to move forward. And I think it's exciting that you get to be part of the, even though it's been a little bit of a roller coaster for her because we just keep having to deal with things. And speaking of which, we're hoping that we will be able to have an opening for her work on June the 1st in conjunction with the Downtown Art Crawl. And then beyond that, there's some details still pending, but we're thinking that's going to be possible. And then beyond that, we're going to begin with scattered gallery hours and start expanding them as we build this whole concept throughout the month of June. So for the month of June, that means that you're going to have to check our door or check our Facebook page or give us a call to see if we're open or not. And I apologize for the inconvenience and hope you're going to bear with us because it's going to be well worth the wait. I'm excited about it. I think we're all excited about it, and I think it's going to be just such a terrific opportunity. And Brenda's work is going to be front and center for the very beginning of this entire thing. She and the folks from the Serendipity Gallery will be doing the very first premiere work, and then beyond that we will be adding to it as we go. So Brenda, thank you not just for your wonderful art and for sharing it with us, but thank you for hanging in there with us.
Glad to do it.
We
I'm
appreciate it.
looking forward to it.
I'm glad it was you I was working with on this. And I hope you're going to hang in there with us and that you're going to be part of this new space, this new opportunity for the Arts Council. So many cool things are coming our way, and we're just going to be very excited to share those with you as they start to emerge. And stay tuned. Stay in touch with the Arts Council. We're also redoing our website. It will always be watauga-arts.org, but watch for it to change because we're going to be making some changes to it as well. So everything's changing. Be a part of it and be a part of the arts of Watauga County.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.